Next on Worcester News tonight, the race is on. Thousands take part in a rainy Boston Marathon. We're hearing from Central Massachusetts runners. Plus, an online petition wants the state judges to be held more accountable in the wake of a deadly police shooting. Good evening and thanks for joining us this Patriots Day and Marathon Monday. I'm Olivia Lemon. Definitely not the best running conditions to tackle 26.2 miles from Hopkinton to Boston. Let's get a quick check of the weather with meteorologist Jackie Layer to see when the rain is finally going to stop.
Well, it was a rainy start to the work week, and that kept those temperatures on the cooler side. We only saw a high of mid-upper 30s for downtown Worcester, but as we see that rain working its way out of here, we'll finally see temperatures a little bit warmer than that through the overnight. So the heavier rain will depart and flooding eventually subsides. Drier conditions are on the way through the overnight hours, and it's finally back to normal by the middle of the week, meaning we'll actually see temperatures back into the low to mid-50s in terms of high temperatures. A few showers to end the week, but not quite as heavy as what we've been dealing with over the last couple of days. Now, satellite and radar, over the last few hours, we've been dealing with a couple of embedded thunderstorms, but otherwise, most of this will be working its way out of here through the overnight tonight. So here's a look at that planner. Now, through this evening, mid to upper 40s with some patchy fog expected. Now, as we look ahead through the overnight, partial clearing of the skies. Not too bad, and temperatures lower 40s. Now, for sunrise tomorrow at 6:03 in the morning, just a couple more clouds out there. Otherwise, plentiful sunshine by the afternoon, mid to upper 30s, but all the details on the rest of that forecast and the 10-day is all coming up in just a couple minutes.
And parts of central Massachusetts saw several inches of rain, and some towns even had to send their plows out Monday morning. Holden DPW tweeting out this video. Crews were back at it with snow and ice operations. It is hard to believe it is the middle of April. DPW is encouraging drivers to use caution tonight as the heavy rain can cause flooding and large puddles on roadways. And for those running the Boston Marathon, the conditions were not ideal, but thousands of runners braved today's cold and rain for the 122nd running of the marathon. As our Chandler Walsh explains, spectators and runners alike say extra layers are key for today.
Streets were filled with water, and the crowd at the start of the Boston Marathon was smaller than usual. The Boston Athletic Association says it's likely their coldest marathon start in 30 years.
Can't feel my fingers already.
Some were still willing to brave the outdoors to support the runners in Hopkinton.
It's so cold and so rainy, you can see that there's hardly anybody that's come out to cheer the runners on, so we figured we better come here and cheer loud.
Runners were out in the conditions for hours. Many had their own ways to try to stay warm and dry.
I'm just bundling up as much as possible. We're told to just shed our layers as we go on.
We get some really fancy duct tape on the shoes. I guess it helps to keep some of the moisture out of the shoes.
Sutton's Karen Thibodeau says training in the hills of her hometown prepared her for the race route. To prepare for the weather, she's relying on a lucky outfit.
The race that I actually qualified for to be here today was the exact same conditions. So I wore exactly what I wore that day.
Some area runners spent hours outside training over the winter. They say it's a silver lining. Today hasn't been the coldest day they've run this year.
Us not being used to many good days around here until late April is definitely gonna help us.
And spectators who were out in the rain say it's the least they could do to bring a little sunshine for those running.
This isn't any kind of risk compared to what they're doing, I mean, they're chilled to the bone and have 26 miles to go.
And again, runners are wearing extra layers to cope with the weather. Layers shed throughout the 26.2 miles will be collected and donated after the race. In Hopkinton, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
All right, thank you, Chandler. Duct tape on the shoes. I like that piece of advice. We will have to try it out. And businesses along the marathon route getting a boost in customers today. Marathon Pizza in Hopkinton says it's been much busier than a typical Monday. The pizza spot was also a shelter for those looking to get out of the rain. They offered free coffee for anyone who stopped by.
We wanted to give out water bottles to whoever wanted to come in, but then we ran out of water bottles right when we opened, so we just wanted to give something to be a part of the community.
And this is the first year for Marathon Pizza's new management, and they say it's been exciting to look out their window and see all of the runners. Many are running the marathon for different charities and causes. One Central Massachusetts family touched by cancer is running this year for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Our Brittany Schaefer has their story.
We are here for the 122nd Boston Marathon. More than 30,000 people are expected to race today, including the Powers family from Central Mass, who say they're running for a cause close to their heart. Holden residents Chris and Christy Powers are no strangers to running marathons.
I've run 8 marathons, but yeah, 6 for Dana-Farber.
And this will be my 5th and 2nd for Dana-Farber.
And overcoming challenges runs in the family.
Chris is a cancer survivor. I am as well, and we have 4 boys, and one of them was diagnosed with a brain tumor when he was 4. He's been treated at Dana-Farber for the past several years.
The Powers raised more than $16,000 for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute for the 2018 Boston Marathon. Christy says their son participated in a clinical trial, and it made a big difference.
Compared to the year of chemo that he went through, there was so much less of the side effects, that we had to worry about with the chemo. He felt better.
It helps develop new drugs every single day. So with my patients, I'm seeing them live longer and longer than we ever imagined.
2016 Holy Cross graduate Nicole Cunley works at Dana-Farber and is running her first marathon.
A little nervous, excited, and everyone's just so excited and supporting each other. It's nice to have a few other Holy Cross people here.
Fellow Crusader Peter Lawrencer says he's proud to be in an international competition representing Central Mass.
Holy Cross is men and women for others, and that was really ingrained in me when I went to school, and so this is really a run for others, and that's what's really important to me. And Worcester was a home for 4 years, and I really loved it there.
The Powers say it'll be a tough 26.2 miles, but they can overcome anything.
I think it's going to be a really challenging day out there. We'll do our best.
We've had worse.
The Powers say 3 out of their 4 sons will be watching along the route today. They say through this tough weather, it'll keep them running. In Hopkinton, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
All right, thank you, Brittany. The death of a Yarmouth police officer hitting home for several police departments across the state. In Auburn, Officer Ronald Tarantino was shot and killed almost 2 years ago in the line of duty by a career criminal. Now, an online petition is hoping something will change in the criminal justice system. Our Roslyn Flaherty joins us live now to explain. Roslyn?
Olivia, the Auburn Police Department shared the petition on their social media, which calls on judges to be held accountable for letting career criminals back into society. An online petition is sparking conversation about the criminal justice system in Massachusetts. It follows the shooting death of Yarmouth police officer Sean Gannon. Gannon was shot and killed last week, and the man charged in his killing has more than 100 prior charges. The petition wants to hold judges accountable for letting career criminals back on the streets.
Within 2 years of each other and here in Massachusetts, it's tough.
The tragedy hitting home for the town of Auburn, where Officer Ronald Tarantino Jr. was shot and killed by a repeat offender in 2016. The police department shared the petition on their Twitter page and released a statement saying, "We believe that a conversation about how sentencing decisions are made, particularly as they pertain to repeat offenders, needs to begin." State Representative Paul Frost says it's an important conversation, but holding judges accountable is challenging.
It's a very, very difficult process with the Governor's Council and has to go before the legislature. The legislature has a process where we can try to remove judges.
Frost says he thinks there should be a judicial review process where judges are given a term rather than have lifetime appointments.
After the term is up, they should go to the Governor's Council for review. And the governor can make a recommendation on whether the governor at that time, when their term is up, can make a recommendation to renew them for another, term, or recommend that they not be, they be recalled, and that they not get renewed.
Frost is hopeful more people support having the conversation to make changes.
We do need to direct that frustration and anger and say, all right, what can we do? How do you want to hold the judiciary responsible? How do you want to have the right appropriate laws on the books so that people are locked up?
Now, so far, more than 24,000 people have signed the petition, and the creator's goal is to get to 25,000. Olivia.
All right, thank you, Roslyn. And family and friends of fallen Yarmouth police officer Sean Gannon will gather tomorrow and Wednesday to remember his life. The wake is Tuesday and his funeral is Wednesday. Both services will take place at St. PSX Church in South Yarmouth. It's located on Barber Street. The wake is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The funeral mass starts at 11 o'clock. As for Gannon's canine partner, Nero is back on his feet. He was able to walk down a hallway and eat a little on his own yesterday, thanks to the help of an amazing veterinary team. Nero was also shot during the incident and survived emergency surgery. Switching gears now, today is Patriots Day and the Worcester Historical Museum is celebrating the Revolution during school vacation week. Anyone who went to the museum Monday got a chance to meet John Hancock. Hancock was the president of the Continental Congress and discussed his Worcester connection and role in the Revolution. Hancock had property in Worcester and he escaped after the first shots of the Revolution were fired at the Lexington Battle Green.
Those days entailed probably a lot of planning, figuring out what the heck just happened at Lexington and Concord and what we were going to do about the siege in Boston, whether or not we could attack them and end the thing right then and there, or if we even had an army on our hands at all. So we realized it was really, really important for us to leave Worcester as fast as possible and get to Philadelphia and convince people that no, we need to make a stand, we need to put some money into this.
Hancock's trunk is also on display this week. Children under 18 are free for anyone who wants to visit during April vacation.